way back in 1998. I guess you just finished your stint with IIT Delhi and was in IIM Calcutta at that time. And over the next few years, you went on to work with different companies as well. So take us through those early years and how easy or difficult it was to manage investing with your corporate career at that point of time.
So the genesis of that is, I did my schooling in Shimla, and my grandfather, my Dadaji, uh, he also again had a very eclectic career, and one of the stints he did was that at some point about 25 years before that, he got hold of the stock Delhi Stock Exchange ticket when he felt it was cheap. While he never operationally ran as a member, but in those days you could lease it out to other people, your seat, and you would get a monthly, a yearly payment for it. And he did that. So, and in the process, he ended up holding some of the shares, the blue chip shares. He had Telco, Tisco, and a couple of L&T. So what happened is when I was young and when I would go to his house, there were these stock annual reports lying around, and I was a voracious reader. My problem was that I ran out of books to read after a point, and if nothing else was there, I ended up reading those, and that's what triggered my initial interest. And once in a while I would so my grandfather wasn't an active investor, so it's not like it was a discussion out there, but once in a while I would ask him that, "Oh, what are these and why did you buy them?" And he would have some reasoning around it. So that was the initial spark of interest. Uh, then uh, uh, and the other incident I can remember is that uh, I think in 1991, Harshad Mehta had come to Shimla, and there was a small news article in the local newspaper. And in Shimla, if anybody has been out there, it's the main mall road that most of the people are there. And I ended up seeing him and having heard the stories about him. It had been a so that just excited me, and that left a imprint that how a person coming out of nowhere is now the talk of the town. So those are the two incidents I remember distinctly. Uh, in So then I got through my engineering exam and came to IIT Delhi. And during IIT Delhi, I got hold of a book called Warren Buffett Way by Robert Hackstrom. So it was just scanning through the books, and I just thought I'll go through it. And reading it just clicked so many things in my mind. I totally bought into the concept of thinking of stocks not just as ticker symbols going up and down, but thinking of the business behind them and the concept of margin of safety. So those are the things that immediately clicked and kind of started me on this. After reading it, I was clear I did not want to go outside India. I wanted to be here and become and study companies, do things. So to that extent, that drove my thought process. Uh, Went to IIM Calcutta again. So it was known for finance. One of the reasons I joined it. But the interesting aspect, I once I joined it, I realized that nobody really practiced investing. People were in the institute largely to get jobs, and but the actual practice of investing wasn't discussed or taught in any way out there. So and the other thing in my mind that was playing out at that point was that Buffett used to say that if you are in the thick of actions, you will never have a have the time to think through things, or basically stay away from the crowd thinking. So that was the other role. So once I passed out, I decided that I don't want to be in Bombay, and I was looking at other opportunities which could give me. At that time, there were limited opportunities, so I took up this job with KPMG Corporate Finance in Delhi, and so that was kind of the start of the journey. There, I learned about valuation, so Excel modeling and how to build those modeling charts, models, DCF models is something that I learned out there. I learned that, but within a year, I also got an experience which just took away the entire, in my mind, the value of building those DCS. So there was a company called Indian Shaving Products Limited, which was the licensee of Gillette in India. It was listed, and so they had the group had other companies also. There was an unlisted company called Duracell. They had other product lines that Gillette had globally, and while I Indian Shaving Products was quite profitable and doing well, the other companies were not, and they came. So our partner at KPMG got this mandate that they wanted to merge the two companies, merge four companies together. One was listed, three were not listed. And while they gave us the exercise, so the partner called my boss, and he took me along with him, and we were told to build the DCF model for that. But at the same time, we were told that you have to arrive at this swap ratio. So the swap ratio was pre-decided, and we had to build a model to justify that. So then I realized that it's not it's simply the tail wagging the dog. So most of the DCF models are built largely to achieve a end objective rather than coming up with any kind of discovery on what the value is. So I stopped doing. I learned it, and within a year I stopped practicing that aspect. And my logic at that time was that try to think of stocks which are not researched, and where there will be an informational asymmetry out there. Look at them, try to get a comfort around their business model, and so it was largely a buy and hold strategy that I was trying to practice. So does that answer the initial part of the journey?
Yeah. So one thing probably you missed out, Gaurav, here is I just wanted to understand how easy or difficult it was to manage investing along with your work because you were in a corporate.
Okay. So investing was always my first love. This is something that I learned, and I just realized that so doing the job was largely to get the initial capital. So I'm from a middle class family from Shimla. So the initial pool, my grandfather had some holding which he had passed on to my father, but that pool wasn't too big. So I realized that I need to build a small base of capital before I can ever think of uh, doing this full time. And so this was, and the other part was I was looking for similar kind of role profiles where I could practice both. And so to that extent, it was a conscious decision about working at companies where I could practice on the investing side also. So,
Right.